In this video, I head over to Amsterdam to take some panning pictures of cyclists.
Adorama TV presents Take and Make Great Photography with Gavin Hoey.
Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that has everything for us photographers. Now, you join me here today in Amsterdam. Amsterdam, well known for a couple of things, good weather not being one of them. But the thing we're interested in isn't the one you're thinking about, it's bicycles. Because today I'm going to do a panning shot of some bicycles to really put some movement and excitement into what would be quite a static, wet, rainy day picture. Now, before I do the shoot, let's just run through the setup. First of all, I'm using my L series lens. It's raining, it's wet. This lens is weather sealed, so that's probably a good thing. And there's a reason I'm doing this in the rain, you'll see why in a minute. Next is my camera settings. So I'm going to shoot in TV on a Canon or S on most other cameras, shutter priority mode, because I want to control the shutter speed. With panning, that's what really makes the shot work, because you're going to be moving the camera and tracking a moving subject. As far as focusing goes, I don't want to be on manual focus or autofocus. I want my camera to continuously refocus. So I'm going to go for AI servo or continuous autofocus. Also, my drive, I don't want one shot. I'm going to take lots of pictures. I'm not going to get it right the first time. It's going to take me a few shots. So I'll be in high-speed shooting or continuous shooting mode. Right, that's the camera set. Let's go find some moving subjects. Come with me. So to photograph my cyclists, I've just moved to a little bit closer to the road where the cyclists are usually plenty. Of course, just as I stand here, there are none, but they will be coming, don't worry. So shutter speed is the vital ingredient inside of shooting a panning shot. And it's not a question of a certain shutter speed. It's a matter of choosing the right shutter speed for the lighting conditions, for the speed of your subject, for the zoom that you're using. So what I can't tell you is one setting that will work for everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at a 60th of a second, and then I'm going to go slowly down. I'm probably going to go straight from a 60th to a 30th. All we need is a few bikes. So let's start with a 60th of a second, shutter priority mode, find a cyclist. Here we go. And you want to try and keep your movement nice and fluid as the cyclists go by. I can see another one coming, they're coming. Here we go. Okay, so 60th was okay, but let's drop it down to a 30th of a second and we'll take a couple of other shots there, because I reckon 30th of a second for bicycles, the speed they're going today is going to be perfect. Right, here we go. There we go. Okay, so a 30th of a second is my killer speed. That's what's giving me the great movement in the background, but still giving me an ability to keep up with the cyclists. If I go any slower than a 30th of a second, then it becomes very hard to get the panning to be smooth with the flow of the cyclist, and I end up with a picture that's a little bit soft and blurry. And it's all about experimentation and not necessarily just choosing one aperture or one shutter speed in this case and sticking with it, but going with the flow and trying a couple of different pictures. Practice makes perfect when it comes to panning. So let's grab a few more pictures and see what else I can get. That's what I love about Amsterdam, cycling with an umbrella. Mad. So there we go, we got some great pictures of cyclists in the rain here in Amsterdam. All I need to do now is to get back in the dry, back in my studio, and let's see what we can do with the pictures. And we're going to do that right now. It really didn't matter what the weather was doing in Amsterdam, there was always something to see and some great photographs to be had. And the panning shots of the bicycles, well, if you've been to Amsterdam, you know there are bicycles everywhere there, so it was an obvious choice to do. Some of the pictures were great, others were less so, and that's all par for the course when you're doing panning. Not every picture is going to be a winner, but I did get some good ones. Let's have a look. So this shot really sums up everything I think panning in Amsterdam and bicycles. I love this shot. We've got this girl cycling through a busy street, holding an umbrella, wearing earphones. It's perfect. So I'm happy with the shot, but the colours in the picture I think need a bit of work. So there's these really bright signs in the background that are a little bit distracting, the yellow and the blue one here, and a few bits of red that I'd like to reduce the colour. And there's a couple of ways I'm going to do it. Let's start with the most simple way. I'm going to jump over to the HSL/Grayscale tab, and here I'll be working on the saturation option, and I can change the saturation or the intensity of colours in my picture. So for example, I can target the blues and I can just sort of bring the blues down, or I can make the blues stronger by moving the slider side to side. And I'm looking at this sign here. Now as I move it around, it definitely takes away the blue, but if you look around the picture, you'll see all of the blues in the picture are changing as well. So this is a global adjustment. Everything changes. And although I don't mind it in this case, you do have to watch these global adjustments. I reckon I can lose a little bit of blue on the tram and not lose any impact in the picture. There's a bit of green here, so I think I can probably lose the greens in the same way, just bring it down. I don't think there's much else that's green in this image. And the way to tell is just to throw it from side to side and see what changes. But if I change the yellows for that sign at the top, yeah, I lose the yellows, but I also lose some of the warmth in the image. And I don't think that works for me. I'm even losing some colour on her jacket. Same with the reds. If I do the reds, I lose the colour in the scarf, and that's not good. So some things I can do globally, and other things I'm going to need to do locally. So how do I make a local adjustment to my RAW file? Well, it's the same in Adobe Camera Raw from Photoshop and in Lightroom. Same tool applies. I'm going to use the adjustment brush, which is one of those really powerful tools for doing little local adjustments. Now you'll find the adjustment brush here in Adobe Camera Raw, up here on the toolbar, the adjustment brush. And I can change a whole variety of different things from exposure and contrasts, clarity and saturation. Now that's the one I'm interested in. So I'm just going to click on the minus button. That will reset everything and drop my saturation down to -50. And I can paint on this yellow sign, and I can just pull the saturation down just on that yellow sign. And then I can go and target anything else. So this sort of red thing here, and there's a, not quite sure what that is, but there's a little bit of red there that's a bit obvious, and some red there. And I'm just going to pull those down so they're less obvious in the shot. There we go. And that works really well. Now, if you want to take it even further, you can add another new brush. And again, you can leave the saturation at 50, or you can change it further. I could further reduce the saturation or really fine tune it. So maybe this one will have it down about -20, and we'll just further knock back a few of those colors. There's a sort of a purpley blob there that can go, and a few red bits. So you can really take fine control over the colors, but still leave some of the colors in. And of course, if you really want to, you could add another new pin and increase the saturation, and maybe just make that bag a little bit more saturated, just to pull up the brown tones within that little bag she's holding on her handlebars. So there you go. There is my cyclist in the rain in Amsterdam shot, panning picture completed. Now, if you want to find out more about panning, then don't forget to check out the Adorama Learning Centre, where there's tons more information. But if you want to find out more videos from me and the other amazing presenters here on Adorama TV, then click on the subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy to use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.